Assalamualaikum. Good morning, everyone. Hi again. Today you are with me, Ms. NOORZAILATIL AKMA binti Muhammad Zain. And today I will share some tips or the things I apply with my student for speaking tests. Okay. The reason I highlighted speaking test this week is because next week, starting from 20 to 30th August, Malacca will have trial for speaking test. So regard this as your revisions, alright? Okay, so for today, I'm not focusing on all parts, but instead, and part 2. Okay, please bear with me for about 1 hour, okay? Okay, basically, my session today will be divided into 4 parts. The first part will be, we will refresh the overview of paper, speaking paper or 1119/3. And for the second part, I will share some questions for part 1. And for session 3, I will share tips for part 2. And the last section, we will do some exercise together, practice together for part 1 and also part 2. Okay, let's right away go to part 1, which is the test overview. Okay, this one I believe that you have actually know about this. Your teacher has what should I say? Your teacher has, I think, briefed you since you are in Form 4 and Form 5. So, again, this is just some kind of refresh for you. Okay, you are aware that for your speaking paper, there are 3 test parts. And you will have 2 panel, which is one of it will be the interlocutor. The interlocutor will be the teacher from your own school. And in SPM, you will have another panel. We call them as assessor, and the assessor will be a teacher from other school. And for speaking test, the duration is approximately around 13 minutes, and you will enter the speaking test room or the test room with your pair, with your partner. And the overall mark for speaking test is 24 marks. And for each one of it, interlocutor and assessor, they have their own marks. Okay, this is the test part. Okay, part 1 will focus on interview, asking you some basic question around 2 or 3 questions. And for part 2, we will have individual tasks. And for part 3, it will be discussion. Okay, you will discuss the topic with your partner. You will have to make a decision, and you will also have a hot question at the end of it. Okay, I think you're familiar with this. Okay, grammar, vocabulary, communicative competence, and overall speaking performance. Okay, this element would be what interlocutor and assessor use in giving you mark or assessing your speaking test. Okay, for each element, for example, grammar you will have 6 marks. And for vocabulary, again, you will be given 6 marks. Communicative competence, 6 marks. And overall speaking performance, again, you will have another 6 marks. So total, you will have 24 marks. And for your information, three out of these 4 elements will be assessed by assessor. Okay, what are those? Okay, it will be grammar, vocabulary, communicative competence. Okay, this one is given by the assessor. And your teacher, the interlocutor, will give you mark for this one. Interlocutor. Okay, again, let me enlighten you. Okay, interlocutor will be the teacher from your own school, and while the assessor will be the teacher from other school. So you have to impress the assessor. Okay, the assessor hold 18 out of 24 marks. Okay, so how can you impress this assessor? Okay, we will have a look at it later. Okay, now proceed. Okay, moving on to part 2 of my session. Okay, for part 2 here, I will share some question the common question that we use to task a student at school. Okay, for part 1, we will have 2 phases. The first phases will be general question asking you about your personal information, 1 or 2 question. Okay, don't worry, it is only just general question. As it stated, general question only. And for phase 2, we'll have question regarding your daily routine. Alright, okay, let's have a look at some sample question here. Okay, this one is for phase 1, asking you about your personal information or general information about you. Okay, not about others, it is about you. Okay, this will be some sample question, and this does not necessarily come out in the exam, but you can use this in practice. Okay, okay, first we will have example, right? Okay, first, what is your name? Second, where do you live or where do you come from? Okay, how do you come to school? Where is your hometown? Okay, how many siblings do you have? What is your hobby or what is your favorite food or drinks? What is your ambition? Who is your best friend? What is your favorite color and what is your hobby? Okay, all of this question is related to you. So I think it is easier for you to answer this one. Okay, at least you can answer it in simple sentence, okay, but do not answer it in one word. Okay, do not use one word answer. Do not respond by giving one word answer. At least you need to give a simple sentence to answer the question. Okay, let's have a look how can you answer this one. Okay, for example, the interlocutor, your teacher, asks you about what is your name. So maybe you can respond by stating, okay, my name is, let's use my name as an example. Okay, okay, so maybe you can write here, my name is NOORZAILATIL. Okay, I for my name, it is quite long. So obviously, the interlocutor or the assessor might have difficulty to remember. And you have to bear in mind that throughout the session, throughout your speaking test, the interlocutor will use your full name, your name, will call you by your name. So please make it easier for the interlocutor to call you. So it will be useful, it will be helpful if you can provide your nickname. So what can you say here? Okay, maybe you can say, my name is NOORZAILATIL. You can call me Ila. Alright, okay? So when you mention your nickname, the interlocutor will use it throughout the session, and the assessor can also know you, so there will not be confusion in giving marks. Okay. Second, okay, example question, where do you live or where do you come from? Okay, maybe you can say, I live in Jasin. Or you can say, I come from Jasin. Okay, at least try to construct full sentence. Okay, please avoid, let's say the interlocutor asks you, where do you live or where do you come from? Please avoid giving, or please avoid just answer Jasin. Okay, you need to at least, as I mentioned, you need to at least construct a simple sentence. Answer it in simple sentence, just like the example here. Okay, I live in Jasin. I come from Jasin. Okay, next, another example. Okay, how do you come to school? Okay, you cannot say motorcycle, bus, car, father, mother. Okay, again, you need to construct full sentence in simple. Okay, simple sentence will do for part 1. Okay, maybe you can say, I come to school by, okay, by, so you can say by car or by bus or by motorcycle. Okay, or you can also say, my father or my mother or my sister or my brother send me to school by motorcycle or car or bus. Or let's say if you walk to school, your house is actually just beside the school or opposite the school, very near to the school, walking distance. So you walk to school. So you can say, I walk to school. Okay. Or you can say, every day I walk to school because my house is near. Okay, you can mention that. You can say that. Okay, so let's move to phase two. Okay. Phase two, as I mentioned at the beginning of our session, okay, phase two will be asking you about your daily routine. Okay, these are some questions, some sample questions that you can use for practice. Okay, one, what do you normally do after you wake up? Okay, see, this question asks you about your routine. Every day after you wake up, what will you do? Okay. Second, what do you usually do after coming back from school? Again, your routine. Okay, how do you spend your leisure time? What do you do on weekend? Or how do you spend your free time? What do you usually do when there is no teacher in class? Okay, I think this question will be a piece of cake for you. Okay. What do you usually do in the morning, in the evening, at night, before sleeping, before you sleep? Okay. And another sample. What do you normally eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Okay, another one. We have another two sample. Okay, what do you usually do before going to school or before going to bed? Okay, last, what is your favorite games of sports? Okay, I think this is this will be just common question about you. So you basically you know what you are doing every day, your activity, your daily activity. It's very close to you. So for part one, you should not have problem to answer this. Okay, because everything is related to you. Okay, how can you answer this? Okay, for this one, to answer phase two, okay, maybe again, avoid using one word answer. Okay, for example here, let's have a look. Okay, first question, what do you normally do after you wake up? Okay, for you to answer, maybe you can repeat or you can not to repeat everything, but just some extract from the question. Okay, maybe you can take from this one. After you wake up, but you need to change the pronoun you and change it into I. So it become after I wake up, I always. Okay, so please think. Okay, after you wake up every day, what did you do? Okay, so maybe after I wake up, I always brush my teeth. Okay, maybe shower. Okay, and perform perform my prayer. Okay, it's basically any activity that you do after you wake up. Okay, second, what do you usually do after coming back from school? Okay, every day after your school hours ended, do you straight away go home or do you have any other activity? Okay, so again, the same one, the same rule apply here. Okay, you can extract half or not half, some part of the question and use it as a tool to help you in speaking. Okay, maybe you can say, after coming back from school, I usually, maybe for me, after coming back from school, I usually take a short nap. Nap means sleep. Okay, short sleep, short nap. You sleep for a while. Okay. Third, how do you spend your leisure time? Okay, so you can say, you can take here, I, you and your, change the pronoun into I. I spend my leisure time by, okay, if you have free time, what will you do? Okay, or if you do not have extra class during the weekend, what are you doing? What will you do? Okay, what is the activity? What will be the things that you prefer to do if you have free time? Okay, for me, I spend my leisure time by, okay, staying at home or sorry, watching uh, TV with my family. Okay, if I do not have class or if I do not have extra class during the weekend, I will stay at home watching television with my family. Watching television or do the house chores is some form of activity. Okay, next one. What do you do on weekend? Okay, for question 3 and 4, you can actually use the same answer because on weekend, maybe if you go out, then you can say that you go, or maybe if you have short trip, maybe you can say that I usually go for a short trip. But if during weekend you spend your time at home, maybe you can use the same answer as here. Okay, basically the answer depend on you. Okay, it depend on you or what you do. Okay, moving on to part 3. Okay, part 3 will be focusing on part 2. Okay, for part 1, the question will be based on your personal information as well as your daily routine. And I hope you aware that for part 1, the mark is there is no mark for part 1, but it is crucial for you to do well. Okay, because part 1 is actually a warming up session. Okay, so use that opportunity to make yourself ready for part 2. Okay, for part 1, it's actually a practice session, and part 2 will be the real deal. Okay, let's have a look at part 2. Okay, part 2. This is a common happening. Okay, the common thing that's happened during speaking task. It's basically happened to almost majority of the candidate. Okay, we call it as pauses or hesitation, unnecessary pauses or hesitation. Okay, how can you avoid these pauses? Okay, what are the pauses? Okay, when you make sounds such as uh, okay, without any purpose, we call it as unnecessary pauses. Okay, what can you do to avoid these pauses? Okay, first, maybe you can slow down your pace a bit. Okay, pauses happen when you are trying to convey your ideas too fast, and slowing down might help you to relax and organize your thought a bit. So when you are starting to have pauses, keep your pace slow a bit, but do not stop talking. Okay, keep on talking but slower pace. Okay, in that, if you do that, okay, you can have time to construct sentence or to organize your idea. And another thing that you can do to avoid pauses is answer or give response in simple or compound sentence. Let's say if you have, or let's say if you are struggling to construct compound sentence in part 2, okay, maybe you can change to by using simple sentence. Maybe for bullet number 1, you use simple sentence. For bullet number 2, you can use compound sentence. Okay, try to use variety of sentence structure here. Okay, which one you are comfortable with. Okay, next, you can replace the fillers. Or wait, what should I say? Okay, that will be fillers. So, what can you do to replace the fillers? What are the things that you can do? Or what are the phrases that you can use to replace the fillers? Will be, you can use the transitional words. Examples of transitional words will be Okay, maybe you can say, let me think for a while. Or maybe you can straight away say, oh, this is a challenging question. Or you can say, okay, let's see. Okay, let's try. Okay, so you can use these phrases to actually buy some time for you to prepare your answer for part 2. Okay, there are other transitional words actually. You can always refer to your teacher, or you can go on Google and search for transitional words. Okay, if you find it, maybe you can apply it in your speaking test letter. But do not use everything. Okay, do not cheat. Kita. Okay, do not use transitional word for that 1 minute. Okay, at least you need to answer the questions. Okay, transitional word is used only when you are when you are struggling, or when you are starting to commit pauses. Okay, this transitional word is to help you to feel the feelers without making sound of okay. All right. Okay, for part 2, it is crucial for you to organize or to connect your ideas. In order for you to connect your ideas from one bullet to another bullet until the fourth bullet, these are some elements that might be helpful for you to help you in connecting or to arrange your idea. First, you can use cohesive devices. I think you are familiar with this. Okay, and second, we have conjunction as well as subordinating conjunction. All of these, sorry, all of these elements are not used only in speaking, but it is also used in writing. And you are familiar with everything here. Okay. Speaking, we use this in speaking as well as writing. Okay, when you are constructing your essay, you use cohesive devices, you use conjunction, you use subordinating conjunction to make your idea flow smoothly. Okay, so basically you apply the things that you did in writing to speaking. Okay, I always mention to my student that speaking is actually you are writing but in verbal. Okay, and writing will be you are speaking your thought but in written form. Okay, you actually can apply the same rule in organizing your idea for both in writing as well as in speaking. Okay, these are some example of cohesive devices. Okay, we have cohesive devices that you can use to add ideas. Okay, to add ideas or information, you can use cohesive devices such as and, as well as, moreover, furthermore, in addition to, on top of that, another point is. Okay, and as I mentioned, these are just some of the cohesive devices. There are a lot more cohesive devices that you can find online. So look for it. Okay, use it. Okay, and we also have cohesive devices to for sequencing. Okay, the basic one we have first of all. Okay, secondly, third, next, meanwhile, now, and subsequently. Okay, my student, they prefer to use sequencing, both in writing as well as in speaking. Okay, and we also have cohesive devices for illustrating. Illustrating means you give example. Okay, we have, for example, such as, for instance, in the case of, as shown by, illustrated by. Okay, take, or one example is, or I would like to add another one. You can also use the cohesive devices to illustrate. Okay, to illustrate is also means to show example. Okay, next one we have cohesive devices for comparing, qualifying, and contrasting. Okay, comparing means you compare two things. Okay, first we have similarly, likewise, as with, like, equally, in the same way. And there are tons of other cohesive devices to show comparing, or for comparing, in Google's or in reference book, or perhaps you can refer to your teacher. Okay, qualifying. For qualifying, cohesive devices that we use for qualifying to show qualify. Okay, but however, unless, except, apart from, as long as, and if. Okay, and last one, we have cohesive devices for contrasting. Whereas, alternatively, unlike, on the other hand, conversely, having said that, nevertheless, or however. Contrasting means we want to show, or we want to highlight different idea from the previous idea. For example, maybe the previous idea will be in positive form. So if the second idea is in negative form, we use contrasting. Okay. And for cohesive devices, I have shared in my previous session. So you can always uh, watch it in this channel. So look for my session where I highlighted or where I share about cohesive devices or connectors as well as conjunctions. Okay. All right. Okay. To connect your ideas, you can also use conjunction. Okay. You are familiar with this fanboys. Okay. You use fanboys almost in every part of your writing as well as your speaking. Okay, fanboys, we have seven basic conjunction here. We have for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Okay, I believe you already know how to use fanboys. And if you are not sure, again, you can refer to my session in this channel. In my previous session, I have shared this. Okay. Okay, we also use subordinating conjunction to help you in in connecting or organizing your idea. Okay, these are some examples of subordinating conjunction. Okay, and these are the acronym. Okay, and I find this in Google, so you can always check Google. Okay, there are tons of grammar page or grammar web page that can helps you in enriching your grammar. Okay, for subordinating conjunction, we have if, since, as, when, although, while, after, before, until, and because. And as I mentioned, there are a lot more on internet or Google. You can always go there to look for more. All right. Okay. Now, this is the structure for to answer question. To answer part two. Okay. I applied this with my student at school, and I hope it will be beneficial and useful for you too. Okay. With my student, I use RAE. Okay. RAE technique. Okay. This might be similar to what your teacher has done with you. Okay, so if you think that it is easier or it is useful, so maybe you can apply it. Okay, RAE stand for rephrase, A stand for answer, and E stand for explain. Okay, this will be the the flow of ideas that you need to use, math student use to answer part two. Okay, this will be the template that I use with my student to help them arrange their sentence, arrange their thought, or arrange their idea. Okay, here in the first column you have column for question. So usually for part two we have 4 bullets. Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, and question number 4. Okay, the first element I mentioned just now is rephrase. Okay, what I meant by rephrase is you rephrase the question in the bullet. Okay, do not take everything, do not repeat the question, but you can rephrase it. Okay, if you do not if you do not want to rephrase, maybe you can start answering by giving cohesive devices. So to start answer for part 2, first, the first thing that you can do is you can rephrase the question, or you can start by giving cohesive devices. Okay, after you rephrase the question, then only you start giving your answer. For each answer, it will be beneficial if you can give extra explanation or extra elaboration, or maybe you can give example here. Okay, explaining, maybe you can give reason, example, or elaboration. Okay, we will see sample question after this and how I construct answer with my student. Okay, for example, this is sample question, a weekend getaway. Okay, talk about a weekend getaway you had recently. You should say, okay, refer here, bullet number 1, when it was. Okay, second, where the destination is. Third, what you did there. Okay, 4, traveling widens one's perspective. Why or why not? Okay, the first one. Okay, uh, the first technique. Okay, the first element in RAE just now would be R. Okay, R stands for rephrase. Okay, rephrase the question. So let's have a look at the first bullet, when it was. So if you want to rephrase the question, you can start by saying, you can use it was. Okay, do not repeat when. If you repeat when, then you will commit, when you connect your idea, you will commit grammar error. When it was during holiday. See? Okay, if you mention it, if you give response like that, it means that you are jeopardizing your grammar marks. So please just take parts of the question. Do not repeat everything, but only take half of it or parts of it. Okay, for question bullet number 1, maybe you can take it was. Then you give your response. Okay, second, where the destination is. Okay, again, you take parts of it. The destination is, okay, leave the word where. Okay, do not repeat the word where. Okay, during exam you can see this question. Do not be afraid. Okay, you can always refer to this question. So when you give response, make sure you do not repeat everything. Okay, so here the destination is, okay, again, give your answer. Okay, bullet number 3 and bullet number 4 can be a bit tricky. Okay, what you did there. Okay, what you did will be referring to activity or activities. Maybe you can say, okay, for this one, if you cannot repeat or if you cannot rephrase the question, you can start by giving cohesive devices. Okay, for bullet number 4, traveling widens one perspective. Okay, if you receive phrases like this, you are lucky because you can just use it straight away. So in giving response, for bullet number 4, you can start by giving cohesive devices. For example, in my opinion, traveling widens one perspective. Okay. Please remember that you need to give reason here. Okay, to give reason, you can use another cohesive devices. Okay. In my opinion, traveling widens one perspective because, okay, make sure you give reason. Okay, now, all right, this is sample question that produced by my student. Okay, I did this in school, so this is a sample question, sample answer from them. Okay, let's have a look how they answer this one. Okay, the first bullet, when it was. Okay, the answer is my student start by giving cohesive devices. First of all, my weekend getaway was last month. Last month here answering for question 1. Okay, question 1 asked for when it was. So my student mentioned last month. So here he already answered the question. But I asked him to give further explanation. Last month, when? Specifically when? Okay, so he gave explanation, extra explanation. It was during school holiday. Okay, school holiday will be the explanation for last month when it was. Further elaboration. Okay, second bullet, where the destination is. Okay, for question number 2, my student did not use cohesive devices, but he start by stating or by rephrasing the question. Okay, he start with I went to. Okay, he did not repeat the question, but if you want to take part of the question, you can say the destination is. Okay, for my student, they said I went to. Okay, the answer is a recreational forest getaway with my buddy. Okay, here, recreational forest getaway will answer for the where. Okay, the destination. Okay, again, since my student mentioned forest getaway, so there will be another question that pop up in the interlocutor heads. So that's why again I asked my student to give elaboration, further explanation. So he said the answer will be, or the response will be, we went to Tanjung Tuan in Port Dickson Negeri Sembilan. Okay, again, this is further elaboration. Okay, pardon my handwriting here. Okay, question number 3, what you did there. Okay, again, okay, during when we're analyzing the question, I mentioned that question 3 asks you about activity. So how many activity? Okay, you can provide one here. Okay, so my student start with the activity we did there was, okay, hiking the trail to the peak of Tanjung Tuan. Okay, extra elaboration or extra explanation. The view is breathtaking, or maybe you can say the view is beautiful, or the scenery is magnificent. Okay, last one, question number 4. Traveling widened one's perspective. Okay, for question number 4, my student starts by giving cohesive devices. In my opinion, okay, traveling can widen one perspective. Okay, this means that he agreed. Agreed with the statement in bullet number 4. So he need to give reason. This is because we might come across things that will instill and enrich value or knowledge in ourselves. Okay, so for bullet number 4, if you agree, you need to give reason. And if you disagree, you also need to give reason. Okay, for bullet number 4, it is okay if you do not agree, but make sure your reason is relevant. Okay, but it is advisable if you can use positive answer. Okay, so now it's time for us to do some practice together. Okay, let's have a look at part 1. Okay, this is basically the same thing or the same question that I highlighted during the the first part, the second part of my session today. Okay, phase 1. Phase 1 again. Phase 1, we will be asking you about your general information. General information about yourself. Okay. Usually, usually interlocutor will ask you about your name, definitely. So actually you can memorize this. Okay, what is your name? Okay, my name is, okay, let me use here, Nur Khairina. Okay, Nur Khairina is my niece. So I'll just use here as an example. Okay, my name is Nur Khairina. You can call me Rin. Okay, so throughout the session, the interlocutor will call her Rin. Rin or Rin. Rin or Rina. Okay, let's put Rina. Easier. Okay, so the interlocutor will, throughout the speaking task, the interlocutor will call her Rina. And her partner will be using different nickname. Okay, second, how do you come to school? Usually, once you mention your nickname, the interlocutor will ask you, okay, Rina, how do you come to school? So, the candidate will answer, I come to school by car. Or you can say, I walk to school. Or you can say, my father sends me to school by car. Okay. Okay, next one. Where is your hometown? Okay, you can say my hometown is in. Okay, for me, my hometown is in Kelantan. Okay, so you need. Okay, as I mentioned at my early session today, I mentioned or I remind you to construct simple sentence, at least simple sentence for part 1. Okay. Okay, next for phase 2. What do you normally do after you wake up? Okay, after I wake up, I usually, okay, the option that you can say, not the exact option, but you are free to mention anything. Okay, you can say, I'll always, okay, shower. Sorry, happen. Okay, you can say that. Okay, I always take shower, or okay, brush my teeth. Is it okay if you say, okay, after I wake up, I'll always eat my breakfast? Is it okay to say that? Yes. Okay. Basically, every answer that comes out from you is acceptable because only you know what you did after you wake up. Okay. Second, what do you usually do after coming back from school? Okay, after coming back from school, I usually, okay, maybe once you reach home, you do your homework. I usually do my homeworks. Or maybe you can say I usually helps my mother with the chores. Okay, I help my mother with the chores, or I help my mother do the chores. Okay, chores mean the activity or the housework that you do or that your mother do. Maybe do the laundry, cooking, or clean the house. Okay, that will be examples of chores. Okay, 3. What do you normally eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Okay, for this question, maybe if you want to practice, okay, you can use an answer that fit for all meals. Okay, for me, I usually eat, okay, maybe I usually eat nasi lemak for breakfast. And I can eat nasi lemak again for lunch as well as for dinner. Okay, so you need to be wise when you answer the question. When you are practicing for this question, you need to be wise. Okay, sometimes your that one answer can fit for many questions. Okay, so be smart. Okay, be smart. Okay, next one. Okay, let's practice part 2. Okay, for part 2, I have 2 questions for you. Okay, the first one is watching movie with family. Talk about watching movies with family. The first one, okay, the first question, what kind of movie? So you need to mention, you need to tell the genre. Is it sci-fi, science fiction? Is it romantic? Is it horror? Okay, try to use the vocab that you know. Okay, do not attempt something that you have not done. Okay, because if you're trying to do something complicated, you might stuck in your speaking test. So try to actually use whatever vocabulary that you know about the genre. Okay, for maybe you can use this one, romantic or horror. I think you are familiar with romantic movie or horror movie or action. Okay, we also have action movie, so you can use either one. Okay, when do you usually watch it? Okay, maybe you can say at night or during weekend. During weekend. Okay, three. Number 3, bullet number 3. Did you enjoy yourself? Why or why not? Okay, if please notice here, you need to give reason. Okay, why some teenagers prefer to watch movie with their friends? Okay, this is opinion based. Okay, even though there are no mentioning of, there are no stating of why or why not, okay, it is again useful. It would be very useful. It can if you can give reasoning, if you can give reason, or if you can justify your answer. Okay, again, this will be the template. Okay, first, that's now the genre of the movie. Second, when did you watch it? Okay, did you enjoy? And next, last one. Okay, I wrote question here in short form. Okay, so do not. Why teenager watch with friends? Okay, here if if you want to use or if you want to rephrase the question, you can say the movie. You can use the movie. Okay, is a is an action movie. If you watch a romantic movie, then you can say the movie is a romantic movie. Okay, further explanation, maybe you can say the title of the movie. Okay, the movie is an action movie. Okay, you can write or you can say the title is The Avengers and Game. Alright? Okay. You can just say any movie that you have watched actually. We are not going to ask you about the synopsis of it. Okay, just say whatever movie. Okay, if you have not watched movie with your family, you can also apply your experience of watching movie with someone else. Okay, do not be stressed out about you have not watched movie with your family. Okay, just use whatever experience that you have. Okay. Okay, next one, when. Okay, maybe here you can say, okay, we watch it last week. Okay, last week will answer for the question of When? We watched it last week. Okay, further explanation. Okay, last week on Saturday or on Sunday. Or you can say last week during the weekend. Alright? Okay. So if you notice, the structure is actually quite simple and easy to follow. And you have full idea, full sentence. Okay. Did you enjoy yourself? Okay, you can say here, you can start by giving cohesive devices. Okay, you can say, personally, obviously, if you watch movie with your family, you will enjoy the session. Okay, but if you do not enjoy it, you can say that you did not enjoy it. Okay, personally, I really enjoy, or mm, I really enjoy myself. I really enjoy myself. Okay, give reason. Because, okay, when you watch things or when you do activity with your family, it means that you have time to spend with them. You have extra time to spend with them. So you can say, because I can spend time with my family. Okay, if you notice, I only give simple explanation. Okay, because you need to remember that for part 2, you only have 1 minute to give your response. So it's okay if you have simple idea, but make sure you construct it or you say it in full sentence. Okay, last, for opinion based question. Why teenager prefer to watch movie with friends? Okay, here again, you can use cohesive devices. Cohesive devices, example, in my opinion, okay, teenagers, okay, you can take parts of the question to help you construct your sentence. Teenager prefer to watch movie with friends. Okay, again, give reason. Because, okay, because they have similar preference. Okay, similar preference means they love to watch the same genre. They prefer or they love the same type of movie. If you watch movie with your family, you need to watch something that suit everyone. Maybe you have little brother or little sister, so you cannot watch something very action packed. Maybe you need to watch something mild, cartoon or animation. But when you go or when you watch movie with your friends, you can choose any movie that fit with you and your friends, okay, as a teenager, without the interference of your family or your other siblings. Okay, this will be for first question. Okay, let's do another question. This one is simple, a bit simple. Favorite fruits. Okay, talk about your favorite fruits. You should say, what is the fruit? Why do you enjoy it? Is it popular? Or why and why not? Okay, why eating fruit is important. Okay, again, if you notice, bullet number 4 here do not have the code of why or why not. However, you still need to provide justification for your answer. Okay, here. Sorry, let me refer. Sorry, sorry. Let me, eh, sorry. Let me refer to this one again. Okay, what the fruit is, why, Is it popular? And why eating fruit is important? Okay, here you can mention the fruit. What is your favorite fruit? For me, I don't really prefer fruit, so it will be a very difficult question for me to answer. But for you, those fruit lover, this might be an easy one. Okay, so first, what? Okay, is it popular? Okay, what? Maybe you can say my favorite fruit is. Okay, you can put here. Maybe you can say rambutan or durian. Okay, you can say what is. Okay, dah. Wait. Okay. Okay, let's say you choose durian. My favorite fruit is durian. So extra explanation, it is called as king of fruits. Okay. So second question, why? Reason why you liked it. So you can start by giving or by using cohesive devices. The reason is because you can say first you can say about the taste. Okay, because it is sweet. Okay, it is sweet. Even though I do not eat durian, but most of my friends say that durian is sweet. So that's why I give reason as sweet. Okay, so when you mention sweet, you already answer the question of why. And extra explanation, you can say it is sweet and the flesh is fluffy. Sorry, wrong spelling here. Okay, the durian flesh is fluffy and sweet. So you give extra explanation. You give extra detail of how it tastes like and how the texture. Okay, third one. Sorry, is it popular? Is it popular? Okay, you can say, or you can give question devices here. Obviously, it is very popular. Okay, once you mention this one, it means that you have answer bullet number 3. But again, you need to give reason because you have quote of why and why not. Okay, durian is very popular because it is seasonal. It is very popular because it is seasonal fruits. You can only eat durian during certain season. It is not available throughout the years. Okay, durian is not available all year round. You can only find it or you can only enjoy it during durian season. That's why it is popular. Okay, question number 4. Is it important to eat fruits? Okay, important to eat fruits. Okay, here you can apply your science knowledge. Okay, again, you can start by giving your opinion, and when you are trying to give your opinion, you can start by giving considerations of, okay, in my perspective, or in my opinion, or you can say in my point of view. There are a lot of cohesive devices that you can use to show idea. So always refer. Okay. In my perspective, you can repeat or you can rephrase the question. It is very important to eat fruits. Okay, give reason. Because, okay, because fruits, fruits provide vitamin for our health. Okay, if you eat a lot of fruits, okay, it will be helpful for your health. So that's why doctor always encourage you, or your parents always encourage you to eat fruits. Eat a lot of fruits. Okay. Okay. It seems like we have come to the end of my session. Okay, before I wrap up, let me just quickly summarize the points of our session today. My focus will be on part 1 and part 2, but the practice or the main point will be for part 2 to help you in part 2. Okay, for part 2, I use the technique of RAE. R stand for rephrase, A for answer, and E for explain. Always give extra information when you give your response. Okay, that will impress the interlocutor as well as the its assessor. And don't forget to use your cohesive devices, your fan voice, because there will be mark criteria for that. Okay, how you organize your idea will affect your marks. So make sure you use everything that you know. Apply everything that your teacher has taught you in class. Okay, and I hope the RAE that I shared today will be helpful for you. Okay, I would like to give credit to Majlis Datuk-Datuk Negeri Melaka for sponsoring our program. Actually, it has been a few years now, and it also uh, I would like also thank Jabat Pendidikan Daerah Jasin, and most of my material today is taken from module Gemilang 3.0 PPD JPN Negeri Melaka, as well as module Masyur 2023 from PPD Jasin, and some part of it is taken from online, so you can always go online and refer to it. And before I forgot, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, okay, the channel. Okay, thank you and see you again. Assalamualaikum.